it's Doug with Backcountry Pilgrim, and I'm here to talk to you today about a brand you may have never heard of called Montane. Montane is a British outdoor clothing and gear company specializing in lightweight and breathable gear, enabling people to go, as they say, further, faster. Now, this is actually the second video I have done on Montane's gear. The first was a few years back on the Montane Trailblazer, a pack that at the time I thought was finally going to put the beat down on the Osprey Talon, one of the most popular day packs ever made. Now, I really like the Trailblazer, and I actually took it on several hikes before eventually giving it to a friend, a decision that I have since regretted. So I was very happy when Montane actually reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to check out their new Trailblazer and some other of their gear, and that is what I am here to share with you today. First, let's talk about the Daypack. The new Montane Trailblazer is a 25-liter traditional style Daypack, weighing in at 36 ounces. Now, I know that may sound a bit heavy to those in the ultralight community, but let me tell you more about it before you judge it simply based on ounces. I'll give you a quick top to bottom tour, but just to let you know, one of the most impressive things about this pack is the suspension system. This is, without question, the best suspension system I have ever seen in a day pack. Now, you might not think suspension is a critical feature on a day pack, but if you're like me, I usually do a lot longer day pack type hikes than I do backpack type hikes. And when I do, especially like in winter, or if I'm bringing my photo gear or other things, it becomes pretty important to have a day pack that can handle a heavy load. And so while it is not always the most important feature, it is very welcome when it's needed. So what makes this suspension so impressive? Well, one of the first things you're probably going to notice is the width of the shoulder straps. These things look like paddles, and when this is attached to your chest, it just hugs onto your rib cage, making for a very secure and very comfortable ride. If you've ever worn a running vest, you're probably familiar with this style, and this, I think, is where Montane got the idea. They're basically giving you these big, giant, wide, fairly heavily padded straps so that you can carry extra weight. In another nod to the running vest, you have dual sternum straps, which are elasticized so that although it really brings in the straps and tightens them to your body, you can still breathe because your chest can expand them. They seem to be, to me, the perfect mix between security and expandability. And I love these little clips. They just snap onto a little rail on the side here, anywhere you want. They will not come off unless you pull the pull tab, and then they pop right off. Super easy to use. These are adjustable along a daisy chain where you basically just pull them out and refit them into whichever hole you want to use. I have found this combination of width, padding, and dual sternum straps to just give an incredible ride to this pack. But the special features of this harness don't stop there. You do have load lifters in the back, and it is also an adjustable torso. All you have to do to change this is just lift up on this Velcro pad, slide this up and down to whatever length you want, and put it back. Nice and easy. While we're talking about the harness, you do have something else unique with Montane, and that is a hard strap on one side and an elasticized hydration hose guide strap on the other, so you are able to hang something off of here on the front of the pocket, like a satellite device or something, if you want to. This other one, you're not going to want to use that for anything other than hydration hose routing. Now about the pockets. Traditional style packs are basically going to give you the pockets that they think you need, and you're usually not going to be able to do anything about them if you don't like them. However, what I love about the Montane pockets is that although they have a very slim profile and don't look like they would hold much, there's actually a mesh wall inside here that stretches and allows you to easily fit a drink bottle right inside there. So no problem carrying your drink. Further, if you do have some smaller objects like little candies or something in this pocket, they're not going to fall out when you unzip it because that wall's in the way, but it still gives you room to get your hand in there and get stuff at the bottom. So this is a very clever pocket system. I have found it to be very useful. Rounding off the harness at the bottom, you have this interesting hip belt that is nice and wide padding on the bottom, and then a separate piece wraps around and locks it in. In this separate piece are large mesh pockets, great zippers, one-hand operation, no problem. And the space in the hip belt pocket extends into the side pockets of the pack by having a mesh wall divider. And so what this means is that you can actually use both pocket space for different things depending on what will be best configured for you. If you do put something in the side pocket, you do have a strap on top that allows you to lock it in if it's a bit too tall for the pocket. On the front, you don't have any mesh stuff pocket or anything like that, but what you do have is a side pocket, and this allows you to get quite a bit of stuff inside. The whole back here is one big pocket, plenty of room in here. Along the edge, you have a hidden daisy chain, which allows you to move this strap up and down, as well as a little toggle. So if you want to use this for trekking pole or ice axe retention, you have that choice. Otherwise, it just folds in and pretty much disappears. Very sleek. Moving up to the top, you have a brain or a lid or whatever you want to call it up here. One of the things I love about this is that the zipper is actually up on top. It's still covered with a nice piece of water-resistant material, but what's great about this is that you can always just get right into the pocket. Plenty of room in here, and it doesn't get hidden behind the pack when it is strapped up high. One thing I hate about a lot of these lids is that if you end up with a lot of stuff in here, the zipper ends up so far back that by the time you open it, you can barely even get your hand in there to dig around for the stuff. This zipper always on top. Finally, a Daypack with a decent carry handle. All right, going inside, you have another compartment in the top, so this is where you'd probably keep your most secure items. You do have a top retention strap in case you want to carry something on top of the pack and wrap the lid over the top. Then you have standard drawstring, and inside is just one big bag with a pocket for the hydration bladder, a hanger, and of course, hose routing out the side. So I just really appreciate the thought that Montane has put into the Trailblazer. They've got some innovative ideas here that actually make sense, that actually work. But you might be asking, but is it worth the wait? Well, here is where you get to make your own decision. You see, the Trailblazer actually comes in two different varieties. This one is the XT. The XT uses what Montane calls Raptor Ripstop 210D nylon with a PFC-free DWR coating. This stuff is actually 100% recycled blue-signed nylon. So the Trailblazer XT is meant to be a very tough, a very durable bag that's going to last a long time. However, if ounces are more important to you and you don't really need this in a day pack, they also make the Trailblazer 25 in a regular variety. This material is known as Raptor Crosslight. It is a 70D nylon. The pack uses a bit less padding and doesn't have the extra attachment loop. So while the XT is tougher and more waterproof and has more options for attachments, it is 5 ounces heavier. So you're looking at about 31 ounces for the regular Montane Trailblazer. So if you're just looking for a lightweight, fully functional, excellent backpack, you don't really need to go to the XT version. However, if 5 more ounces is not too much for you, getting the extra durable, extra waterproof, and extra attachment option version is only 10 bucks. The Montane Trailblazer 25 XT is $190, and the regular version is $180. All right, so that is Montane, the British outdoor gear maker. I would strongly recommend checking them out. Look at the links below and check out these videos if you are into high quality gear that is a little off the beaten path. If this video has helped you out, would you mind liking and subscribe to Backcountry Pilgrim if you are into hiking, camping, backpacking, and the gear that goes with it. Until next time, I'm Doug. Thanks for watching.